very last test last Thursday, and it was my practical OSCE that I kind of mentioned on here before. So I'll tell you a bit about how it works. So basically over the last 2 years in med school, we've been learning the practical examination of the different kinds of systems in the body. So how to do a cardiovascular examination, a respiratory examination. But now that we've come to the end of our preclinical years and we are heading into hospitals next year, they kind of wanted to do a formal assessment of sorts, and that is the OSCE, testing these practical skills, because we haven't really been assessed on them before. We practice them on each other and on patients at the hospital, but just to make sure that we're all up to scratch. I thought I would do one of those like what's in my bag videos, but OSCE version, because a lot of the equipment that we use, other than a stethoscope obviously, I hadn't really actually seen before I started med school, so I thought it would be really interesting. So let us get into it. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is the Red Book. It's literally called the Red Book, and basically it's this very tiny little book, and it has every kind of examination that you need to know to examine all the different kinds of systems. So it doesn't have any like medical anatomy and physiology knowledge. It's just all the steps on how to listen to someone's heart in the right places, and all that kind of stuff. So when you're a third year, this is basically your Bible to learning all the examinations for the OSCEs. And if you ever go to the hospital and see a medical student clinging onto this for their dear life, you'll definitely know that they're a third year medical student. I thought that would be the first thing that I would show you guys. The next thing that I'm going to show you guys is my stethoscope. So it's a Littmann stethoscope, which pretty much everyone in our year has. I got the plum color. Yeah, very pretty, I love it. And yeah, we just use this for listening to people's hearts, as well as listening to your lungs, and you can also listen to bowel sounds on your tummy with a stethoscope. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is my sphygmomanometer. That is a mouthful and very hard to say, but this is for measuring blood pressure, manual blood pressure. So using your stethoscope in conjunction with this, you can take someone's blood pressure. Basically, you just put the cuff on the person and then you pump them up using this thing, and you use the stethoscope while listening to the pulse in their elbow, to listen to see when the pulse disappears and returns, and then you can measure their blood pressure. So you don't have to have one of these, but I got one just because it's fun to practice on people for the OSCEs. So literally, whenever someone comes to my room, like if anyone just comes over to hang out, I'm just like, can I give you a complimentary medical exam, take your blood pressure, do all your vitals, everything, and people are more than happy, surprisingly. So the next thing I'm going to show you is kind of dumb, but it's actually just hand sanitizer, because when you come to medical school, you'll come to realize how important hand hygiene, hand washing is. Like literally when I go to the hospital, by the time I leave, I smell like alcohol because I've hand sanitized so many times, because you've got to do it before and after you touch patients. So when I'm practicing OSCE stuff on people like in my room, I just keep hand sanitizer as well, so that in the real OSCE, under pressure, and in real life in general as well, obviously, that I don't ever forget to hand hygiene. And then the next thing I'm going to show you is this giant weapon-looking instrument, which is a tendon hammer. So you tap this on different tendons on your body, and you can use it to elicit reflexes, like the knee-jerk reflex, where you tap a tendon in your knee and then your knee goes, and you just, yeah. I can actually, wait, should I try to do it on myself? I can try, but I need to lift up my chair. Yeah, okay, yeah. hard to do on yourself because you need to make your legs go like completely floppy. And so just gonna, there you go. Did you see that? Whoa. So I'm not moving my leg at all. That's just an automatic reflex by your body, and so we do that as part of the neurological exam. Okay, let me just come down. Woo. The next thing I'm going to show you is neuro tips. So let me get one out for you. So that's how it looks like. Basically, we use this in the neuro exam as well. But if you just snap off this part, you'll see that one part is blunt, this side, and then the other side is sharp, like a little, it's a pin, like it won't pierce your skin, but it's just enough to make a little, like feel like a little prick. So this is just for testing pain sensation. And if we were testing the trigeminal nerve, we would just do this on the 3 different sections of your face. So you just ask the patient to close their eyes and tell you when they feel that on their skin. So I'm just going to chuck that in the bin now, but those are neuro tips. And then, what else do we have in here? Ooh, yes, a pupil torch. So if you guys can see that. So this is also used in the neuro exam for testing pupils, so making sure that your pupil reflexes, we can see them constricting when we shine the light into your eye. Another part of the neuro exam is testing your hearing, and we use this, which is a tuning fork. And so basically, you just hit it on your hand and it makes a vibration noise. So let me see if you guys can hear that. Wait. So we make sure your hearing's okay by testing that. And you can also use that to check whether the vibration sensation in your joints is also okay as well. But that's a snazzy little thing that I have as well. Yeah, as you can see, most of the equipment I feel is part of the neuro exam because it's testing all the cranial nerves, so all the nerves that supply your head and neck and all your senses, and you need a lot of different kind of things to test those things. So I think that is everything. Yeah, so obviously in the OSCE they give you all this stuff in the room. You don't have to bring all your own stuff except for your stethoscope, which is what people usually bring. But it's just good to have it to practice on people. Yeah, hopefully that video is kind of interesting, just seeing all the little things that we learn on the practical side of medicine, because I feel like I just talk about all the tests and studying that I always have coming up. Yeah, the OSCEs went not too badly, I hope. I was super nervous, but I think it went okay. And yeah, they basically, you just walk into the room and there'll be an actor who's acting as the patient, but they're not a real patient. They're just an actor who is completely healthy, and then you'll have a doctor who's the examiner who will tell you to do 3 tasks on the patient. So for example, they might say, take the patient's blood pressure, auscultate the heart, which is like listening to the heart in the different places, and inspect and percuss the lungs. And then you just do those 3 things and then you just leave, and then you do another station just like that with 3 different things. And then the last station is just a history taking station where there'll also be an active patient, but they are acting as if they've just got into like the emergency department or their GP clinic, and you're just talking to them to see why they've come in and exploring their background and history and whatnot. So if you have any questions about anything else that we study in medicine or anything like that, just drop them down below.